Mr. Mime is a support character that honestly feels more like an attacker than a true support. With that being said, there's a lot going on here, so let's dive into what this Pokemon can do. First move you should take is Fake Out. Fake Out does damage and knocks everything hit backwards. The other move you get is Light Screen. Light Screen basically creates a wall. It prevents other Pokemon from passing through it, and if you put it on top of something when the wall comes in, it's going to briefly stun whichever is hit. At level 4, you can opt into Confusion, which is a projectile that knocks everything that it hits backwards. If a knocked Pokemon gets knocked into a wall, then they're going to take additional damage and be stunned. The other level 4 option is Psychic, where Mr. Mime draws a circle around himself and any active wall. After 3 pulses of damage, a final pulse is going to occur that stuns all enemies around any circle for about a second. At level 6, you can choose to get Barrier. Barrier is just a better version of Light Screen because it lasts longer and there's 2 charges. The other level 6 option is Power Swap, where you're going to send this Tether out to either an ally Pokemon or an enemy Pokemon. Tethering to an ally makes them stronger and move faster as well as heals them. Tethering to an enemy Pokemon makes them deal less damage and slows them down. Now what's important to note here is how Power Swap interacts with your other ability. If you're tethered to an enemy and you use Confusion, they are immediately stunned and take the additional damage as if they were knocked into a wall. And for Psychic, a circle is going to be put around your tethered target, so this can be used to help peel for your friends or to set up for big damage and a stun on whichever target enemy you are putting your tether to. In general, Mr. Mime's passive abilities are nothing to write home about. Basically, every single time Mr. Mime casts an ability, he takes less damage. And then for the boosted attack, about every 5 seconds or so, you are going to be able to deal additional damage and knock enemies into the air. Finally, for Mr. Mime's Unite move, you are going to start an unstoppable performance which deals damage 4 times. Each hit does damage and stuns enemies for about a half a second. So now you know what the abilities do. What do you build? Personally, right now, I've been liking Focus Band, Assault Vest, and then Choice Specs to make my abilities have a little bit of an extra pop. Now for movesets, honestly, there's a few different combinations that you can try. A good combination is Confusion and Barrier, because every single time you push something into a wall with Confusion, they take additional damage. So if you have Barrier, you're going to be able to push them into barriers. That sets you up to do more damage. Now, personally, my favorite moveset to run right now is Psychic and Power Swap. This allows me to tether into something, make them do less damage, and then set myself up for a free stun with Psychic that's going to help my team follow up on whatever target I'm attacking. And then finally, a good option if you're looking to single out one particular Pokemon is Confusion and Power Swap, because whenever you're tethering to an enemy Pokemon and you hit them with Confusion, it acts as though they got knocked into a wall, which can do some pretty surprising damage. My best advice for new Mime players is to work around your boosted attack. This can be used to set up for a stun or as a follow-up crowd control to a stun that's already hitting. Walk in there, stun something with Psychic, or maybe push them into a wall with Confusion, and then immediately after that, you can knock them up to keep them in place for another half a second or so, which really allows your team to get a lot of poke or to steal all of the farm around the location that you're fighting. And then for those first few levels, just make sure you're using Fake Out to secure Pokemon. It can half hit most things. Just get in there and mix it up. Now, for those of you that are going to be picking up the wall, look for good walling opportunities around the objective. There are tons of little corridors that are going to allow you to split the fight in half. And whenever you can split a fight in half, it's going to be a good fight for your team. So watch for the common channels where Pokemon like to walk in from. And then the moment you notice one walk through, either wall so that nothing else can get through, or keep them all out so that your team can finish the objective. But yeah, overall, my recommendation for Mime is just farm, take your damage, and run at the enemies. You are going to deal a surprising amount of damage, and you're going to feel like you are not taking much damage in return. I do think that they're going to nerf this character, but for right now, get in there and have as much fun as you can. And that is my quick guide for Mr. Mime and Pokemon Unite. If you got any value out of this whatsoever, subscribe to this channel because I'm making more Pokemon Unite guides all the time. Have a good day, and I'll see you next time.